It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
Hello, everyone. Coming straight to you on the 202. He's made 75 albums, won 16 Grammys, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yet world-renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma still finds time to help turn around struggling schools.
A behind-the-scenes look as Yo-Yo Ma brings music to D.C. classrooms. Plus, color, ink, and music collide in a creative live screen printing experience right here in our studio. The Soul and Ink team is here.
That's right. If it's happening in D.C., it's all happening right here on the 202. So let's get to it. And welcome to the 202. I'm Ferman Patterson, here with my lovely co-host Michel Wright. And thanks to you all for joining us.
Thank you, Ferman. Now, we also have to give a shout out to DJ Sway joining us on the turntables today. Sway. Now, a remarkable program is using the arts to create success in struggling schools with the help of celebrities. It's called Turnaround Arts, an initiative created by the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities.
Stars like Kerry Washington, Misty Copeland, Josh Groban, and famed cellist Yo-Yo Ma have partnered with the program at selected schools here in D.C. and across the country. Here's a look behind the scenes as Yo-Yo Ma and violinist Joshua Bell give a mini masterclass to some D.C. elementary school kids. The buzz at Bunker Hill Elementary School was all about the arrival of this man. Yet the world's most renowned cellist, Yo-Yo Ma, was almost as excited as these young students.
Welcome to Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill Step Team.
Along with famed violinist Joshua Bell, they're here to help celebrate the district's partnership with the Turnaround Arts Program.
What I like about music class is I get to express myself. Yeah. And I also because I also like dancing a little bit. So when I play music, I can dance to it. And if he play music, we can both dance and all that.
One thing I want to add to him, more like I play it and he starts catching along and doing all these weird moves.
Oh my gosh, you got so much to learn.
The Turnaround Arts Program is part of DC's strategic approach to help narrow the achievement gap and increase student engagement through music and the arts.
Maybe a small percentage might become musicians, and that would be awesome. I'd love to see someone come out of this program. But they're going to grow up appreciating music. They're going to grow up being, I really think, better human beings, and they'll have an outlet for their creativity, which all kids are born with.
As one of the lucky participating schools, Bunker Hill Elementary was adopted by turnaround artists and mentors Yo-Yo Ma, Joshua Bell, and Larissa Martinez.
It's going to provide them with just strength, emotional strength.
Well, I think arts is extremely important to helping us get students to their ultimate goal, which is graduation and success after graduation. But it's also important to making schools fun and relevant for them while they're in first, second, third grade, all the way through the system. So it's very important to me that we promote the arts, we support our students in the arts, and it's going to be something that we continue to do as a district.
The magic moments at Bunker Hill was not only about plucking strings and bowing violins, but also about swinging a paintbrush.
It was the teacher when I was in high school that helped change my perspective about how to use it. Not knowing that when I was doing graffiti in high school, that's where my creative path would take me. And so it has changed my life, and I hope that it does the same for each and every single one of these students in any way.
Such work of imagination of the teachers, of the principal, obviously the parents and the students. I mean, all coming together, building trust, having a great time, learning a ton with respect, with fun.
I think today's experience here at Bunker Hill just demonstrates all the good things going on in DC public schools, especially with the arts. To have Yo-Yo Ma committed to the Turnaround Arts Project here at Bunker Hill is an incredible experience for these young people, and the experience that they get 4 days a week with the DC Youth Orchestra in the afternoons at their school will inform all of their other coursework and foster in them a love of learning and a love of school.
In partnering with the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, the district has fused arts integration learning into the schools.
Great! You know,
That's
I saw
amazing.
Garibaldi. He's the living artist that was there.
Fantastic.
Isn't he amazing?
Yes.
Did you see Yo-Yo Ma's expression when he was watching it? Like, wow!
You know, does it get any better than having Yo-Yo Ma at your school teaching you how to play music?
Yeah, that's just amazing.
Man.
Arts are so important.
Yes.
So important.
You know, you always hear celebrities and famous people talking about some English teacher or some history teacher that inspired them. It was refreshing to hear from an artist saying that art teacher sort of inspired them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Artistically, where do you like? Do you sketch, draw?
Well,
do you
I was a regular artist in elementary school, and I won some local contests and stuff like that.
Really?
I never told you about that, but I didn't want to brag. But, you know, I was quite a little artist
It's not
in school.
bragging. You know, we're still getting to learn each other in this marriage here.
Yes, our TV marriage. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, coming up, the husband and wife team that are a real-life illustration of how 202 creates. Michel, stay with us as Soul and Ink brings live screen printing to our studio. That's up next on the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
And welcome back to the 202. That's DJ Sway on the turntable. Guess what? The Soul and Ink team has taken performance art to a whole new level. They've activated live printing events all over DC and in New York, North Carolina, and even Germany.
And today, husband and wife team, Frankie and Sherry Meneses, have brought their creative live printing experience to the 202. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, how are you all? Thank you
Fine,
so
how are
much
you?
for having us. We're honored to be here today.
Did I pronounce the last name correctly?
Yes, Sherry and Frankie Meneses.
Meneses.
Exactly.
Now,
Okay.
I feel like I know you both already. When Frankie came into the dressing room, he said, Michelle, I've listened to you on the radio. All of my, you know?
Well, we feel like we know you too because we've been listening to your voice forever. So we are honored.
So we're all friends.
Yes, we're family.
Well, tell us about why you guys decided to actually do business, and you're proving that you can be married and work together.
Oh yes, yes. It's a wonderful give and take. Well, we've definitely been graphic designers for years, over a decade. My dad was a graphic designer, so we kind of grew up into this field. Frankie, he lived in LA for a while, pursuing more of the creative aspect of graphic design. And after a while, we just kind of wanted to get away from the computer and into the community. So during our wedding, we developed so many things through arts and crafts. We handmade a lot of things, and that's when we really developed our like DIY aesthetic, a do-it-yourself aesthetic. We just take things by the horns and just create it ourselves. So we started a screen printing studio in our basement, and we kind of had a little party one night. We had our sister-in-law over, and she brought a box of wine and asked if we could make a couple of prints as a surprise for my brother. Yes. And next thing we know, we were up until 3 a.m. screen printing like everything that could be laid flat that we could screen print on. And that's when we realized, hey, I think we're onto something.
Wow.
So we kind of went from there with it.
Yeah, we ought to do something like that.
Yeah, we got to create something.
Yeah. Well, when did you know that DC was the best incubator for screen printing business?
Well, we realized there's nothing really like that here. I mean, there are a lot of screen printers that are in make T-shirts in their studio. But we're a little bit renegade. We're a little bit crazy. So we were like, okay, why don't we bring it to events? And we also wanted to kind of recreate our career, our path. And we wanted to find a way to make it fun, make it passionate. Things that we're really into are like social justice, design for social change, as well as urban or like street art, creative freedom.
Yes.
We kind of wanted to get away from like the government design aspect, which was a lot of some of my background in graphic design, as well as nonprofit design. So we kind of wanted to be able to have a lot more freedom of self-expression.
Wow. I'm interested in how you came up with the name Soul and Ink. I love that.
Yes, thank you. We love that name too. Actually, originally our first name was Fresh Pressed. I know, you made that face, you're like, oh, that doesn't really click as much. So originally we tried to go with the concept of Fresh Pressed, and we kept creating designs, and it was just really rigid, and we started thinking that's something that you correlate really with juiceries or maybe food. So one day Frankie was like, well, what about Soul and Ink? And as soon as he said it, as soon as he said it, I was like, ooh, I like that.
Whoa.
And kind of growing up in high school, I had always written S's because my name is Sherry, so I had always kind of doodled S's. So that's one of my favorite letters in the alphabet. And then graphic design-wise, we also love the ampersand.
Yes.
So Soul and Ink just really fit because we wanted to be able to pour our soul into our art because we're very passionate about it. But we also are doing it with ink, so it fits.
Wow. Well, of course, we want to talk about Soul and Ink on the road, what you do for corporations and at parties and things. But I'm also interested in the community events that you're big on social justice programs like that. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, for example, during I actually just recently quit my full-time job, my day job to be completely full-time Soul and Ink. Frankie's been doing this for quite some time, and so we've been fully dedicated to doing this. And as of this past winter, we actually did a whole new concept called Drink and Ink, because we know during that time is kind of our down season where we start to do workshops, where it's kind of self-propelled events that we throw ourselves. And we know that DC has a booming distillery scene.
Oh, yes.
So we were like, well, how much fun would it be to do this in distilleries? And plus, it's really cool looking. And that way, we can bring the community out, help support other small businesses, and then also based our themes on our workshops on things like, for example, the resistance posters. We did a lot of inauguration sort of resistance posters and a lot of things for Women's March, and the community really showed up. We had one at Bump and Grind in Silver Spring in January. Maybe about 5 people registered online. About 80 people showed up, and of all ages. It was wonderful. So we've really kind of worked on kind of developing a community, and I think through social media too, people are kind of keep up with us, which we're honored that people are doing that. And we also have a lot of friends that are artists and activists, so we collaborate often with them, and that just makes us all feel really supported and supportive of each other.
Wow, Soul and Ink is kind of, you guys have gone viral.
I hope so. That's great to hear.
Your whole vibe is contagious. I love it.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I'm really curious about how this whole process works. Don't you want to see that?
Yeah, I want to learn how to do it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so we'll show you guys the live screen printing aspect. However, something that's really fascinating is that even though, we take our graphic design and kind of wanted to step away from it. Prior to an actual event, we do graphic design, and it's each activation, as we like to call the events, because we're activating a space, it takes about 20 to 30 hours of preparation prior to showtime and magic. So there's a lot of thought process, a lot of design aspect, because everything that we do is really based off of a theme for that event. So we really kind of make everything conceptual.
I love it.
Interested, very interested.
Thank you.
Well, when we come back, the big reveal by Soul and Ink.
So stay right where you are. The 202 will be right back after this.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
Welcome back to the 202. That's DJ Sway on the turntable and Soul and Ink live in our studio.
Husband and wife design team and owners of Soul and Ink, Frankie and Sherry Manessis. Welcome and tell us how you do this stuff.
So this is basic screen printing, and we use a forearm press to make what we call team mixing. We combine 4 different graphics, and we let the guests, in this case Michel and Ferman, pick the designs, and then we'll print it right here on the spot. And as we go along, I'll show you, explain how, what everything is we're doing as we do it.
Wow. You got to go slow with me because I'm a little slow.
Yeah. So this is a large, so we'll start with Ferman here. Which designs did you want to do?
I saw something that had newsprint with it. That one I kind of like.
We can actually just describe all of the art first,
Okay,
to you guys, so then you can pick and choose. So this particular piece is 18th century Japanese newspaper. It's actually, like, we scanned it, we purchased it and scanned it. So this is some really beautiful detail, and this is all themed based around the cherry blossoms, Washington, D.C.'s iconic cherry blossoms.
Nice.
And then, of course, we've got the lovely 202 logo.
202, we get a logo! Oh my goodness!
It's awesome in orange here with the halftones. We like those halftone designs.
Wow.
It always looks great for screen printing.
Fantastic colors.
Yep.
And then
this is our, what we call the cherry blossom girl, which is just like an abstract design I drew up with cherry blossoms in her hair, and you can just see a face poking out of the negative space.
Cherry blossoms, that's so DC.
Yes, because we try to keep it like that.
Yes.
And then the last one, it's flooded now, but it's actually more a moon with cherry blossoms just kind of decorating the bottom of it, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so which ones did you want to start with?
Which one do you like?
Tell me what kind of ink is this? Is this a special kind of ink?
This is plastisol ink. So if you think of it as more of an oil-based ink, and the reason why we use it in our activations is because it dries slower. So we need to use this device here. It's a flash dryer. This gets up to about 400 degrees.
Wow.
And that will cure the ink. So this ink will stay wet for hours.
Okay.
And so we don't have that risk of it drying out in the middle of the activation, and then we just, if that happened, we just have to pack it up and go home. And like water-based inks, which you normally find in an art store, dry quickly, so you have to continually print. So this has been sitting out here for already an hour or 2 hours already.
So we got to make sure we keep Michelle's hands away from
yeah, we're gonna.
So it's kind of equivalent to oil painting versus acrylic for the painterly folks.
So which ones do we want to go with?
I think with the newsprint.
Let's go with the newsprint.
He likes that.
So we're doing it in a yellow because this is a lighter color. So this is more of a background print, and then we can do something over the top of it if you chose. So we'll do this centered. So basically, if you think of the screen as a big stencil.
Yes.
And what we're doing is we're using the squeegee to pull the ink through the holes, which I've designed in my studio. We burn the screen through a process with light. There's photosensitive emulsion and transparencies, and we're burning the light through and washing it out to make the stencil.
Wow.
Now, when you say screen, is that a finer mesh than, say, your screen door at home?
Yeah, it is much finer.
That's a good question.
So this is a very detailed design on this one. So I'm using a very fine mesh. So this is a 230 mesh count. So it's the same thing if you think of like resolution on your phone or your computer, right? The higher the number, the tighter the holes, the more detail you can get out of it.
Oh my goodness.
The lower the number, less detail, but much more ink flow through it.
Right.
So
you need a lot of upper body strength for that. It seems.
yeah, we're getting strong. We get strong if you work for us. So there's the first design.
Wow.
So this is
see the detail.
Yeah, you can see how detailed we can get with it.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so this is wet right now.
Here the heat comes,
so,
right?
Yeah, here comes the heat. So we give it a good 20 seconds, and that'll cure it long enough for it to touch it. And then we can apply another layer. So we can do some more. We can add to this design.
So if that breaks, you use a hairdryer?
Yes, I actually have one under that table right now.
Always a backup plan.
Right, always a backup plan. Of course.
Something so interesting. Sherry was speaking to us. She said she met someone who loves hip hop. Give me the list of.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So when we first met, we were like, "Oh my gosh, you're my new best friend," because we realized that we're both left-handed graphic designers, Filipinos that love hip hop, who live in Montgomery County. And at the time, we were in Tacoma Park. So and kind of have a funky thing about us. So we definitely knew we were soulmates when we first met.
When we met her, I wasn't living here. I was living in LA. But
you got to keep moving along.
She was living. She was. Oh, so tell me the second design.
Second design. Well, you got to get the 202 on
let's
there.
All right, let's go.
You got to get the 202.
All right, so we're gonna put the 202. Let's do it off center a little bit. Okay. So we'll move. We'll actually move this over a little bit.
Okay.
So we'll put this on the right side here.
Right.
So it's the same thing. So we're gonna just push the ink through.
That upper body strength.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, you need to press down firmly because otherwise none of that soul or ink will come down.
There's the logo right there.
That must be fantastic for companies to see that.
Oh yeah, it's like magic when the guests see it. They're always like, "Wow, how did that happen?"
And it's instant gratification too.
Yes.
I mean, prior to all of the development in the studio, the great thing that we love about screen printing is that you can make many different pieces, so you can share it, which we love. And there's something great about the tangibility of something that's printed, because you could hold it, you can feel it, you can pass it on. With graphic design, everything was so digital and so perfect that it kind of lost its human element. So yeah, print is not dead in our world.
So do we want to put anything else on this?
That one's good.
You're good?
Show it?
You want to show it? Okay.
Let's show it.
So there it is.
Come on, Ferman.
Oh
There
man,
we go.
that looks like you. That looks like you.
I love it. Yeah, bright.
Well, we got to make a bunch of these, but I'm so happy to see the 202 there.
I am too.
Oh, you two were fantastic.
Awesome.
Thanks for sharing this with us
you.
and telling you how
Should we
how
hold
you
up
do
one
it.
of these so you can see
Yeah,
some of
that's
the blue?
wonderful.
See one of those.
This one has.
I love this.
Yes, this one has.
All right. Well, thank you both.
in there.
What a great show today. Thanks to our guest, Soul and Ink, and my co-host, Michel Wright.
And of course, thanks to DJ Sway and to all of you for watching Ferman and I. We'll see you again next time on the 202.
This is how we do it when we party in the 202. Hey.
Home of that good live music.
Come on.
Live on set, live audience approves it. The best hosts, it don't get no tighter. Ferman and Michel can't get no righter. Taxation, no representation.
No.
But the 202 repping for the capital nation. So from 703 to the 301, yeah, we all come to have some fun. It's the 202.
It's the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202.
Yeah. This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
Yeah. This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202.